There's a new system for selling auto styling customers that is consistently more than doubling the close rate of shops across the country. And I'm about to explain exactly how it works so that you can implement it for yourself and make way more money without any extra work. Now, I'm going to be deeply angered if you do not watch this video all the way through. My goal is to help you make as much money as possible, and increasing your close rate is going to drastically increase your profit. You can spend the same amount on ads and book way more jobs. So I'm going to pull up my screen. There's two major parts of the system that we need to go through. The first one is going to be the actual framework. So how is everything laid out? Why is it laid out like that? And what does it mean? And then the second part is going to be the actual script. So what are we saying inside of each section here? So this is a 10-step framework, and we've tested several frameworks. This consistently closes the highest percent. Step one is just going to be the intro, super short, basically explaining why you're calling. Then you're going to go ahead and do the frame, which is basically setting an agenda for the call, explaining what you'll be going over. And then you've got discovery, which is figuring out what's the prospect's problem, what's their pain, and then what are their goals. So what are they trying to achieve? Why are they getting the service done? And then you've got the label, which is essentially wrapping discovery up into a single sentence that makes the prospect feel like you fully understand them. The label is where you're going to build a lot of the trust, and when you go into the pre-pitch, the label is going to basically tee you up. It's going to give you an alley-oop if you play basketball. So the pre-pitch is basically just saying, okay, based on everything that you've said, and now that I understand where you're at, I think our solution is going to be the perfect fit for you. So instilling confidence in the prospect that your solution is the best for their situation. Then you've got the pitch, which I like to look at as the next logistical steps, and a bit of explaining how the process works as well. But you don't want to go too deep into the specific details. You want it to be based more around what is the prospect looking to solve and why do they want to solve that. Then you've got the temp check, which is basically just seeing after you've gone through the pitch, how is the prospect feeling? Is this seeming like something that they would move forward with at that point? And if you on the temp check are getting anything that's not extremely confident, like, yes, I want to move forward as long as the price is right, you need to go into objection handling, which is just going to be reframing the prospect's mindset, helping them think about things differently so that they can see your solution is right for them. Once you have gotten through the objection handling and you are confident that the customer does want and need what you've got, you're going to move into the price drop, which is pretty self-explanatory. That's where you're actually going to tell them what it's going to cost to get this done. Personally, I like to do an A/B close, so have two different options, price anchor really high with the first option, and then make the second option seem a lot lower. Two reasons for this is, one, some people are going to take the really high option without blinking. It's going to be amazing for you, lots of profit in that. Second reason being, if they hear 10K at first and then 1K second, they're obviously going to be a lot more willing to spend that 1K because you've anchored that price so high up in their mind. Now, once you've dropped the price, you might have to loop back to objection handling if you missed something else in the framework. Otherwise, you can go into the close, which is just going to be scheduling them in and collecting a deposit. So that is essentially how the framework works. I'm going to go over to one of these scripts. Let's just do window tint because that's the closest on my screen, and walk you through how this works. So this is a dynamic script. Basically, any input or anything the customer could say is going to have an arrow or a answer preloaded on here. So basically just saying, is this customer name? And then introduce yourself. All right, great. It's Chris from XYZ Window Tint. Just saw you were looking to get a tint. Is that correct? Now, occasionally you'll have people, this also, by the way, is primarily paid ad scripts. So people who fill out a form and you call them from that. If they say that they were not looking to get a tint that isn't correct, then you basically want to reconfirm just to make sure, it does look like you filled out our form. Or you're not still interested in learning more? And then sometimes you'll be able to loop back around and then go into the frame, which is this section right here. So intro is basically just these two sentences. And then you've got the frame, which is saying, okay, let's run through a few quick questions about the car. Then I can break down the packages that are going to be best for you. Frame is extremely important when it comes to establishing control in the conversation. Without that, you're going to have a lot of people asking you, I just want to know the price. What's the price? You do not want that. You want to be able to run through discovery and set the rest of the call up the way it needs to be so that when you get to the price, they trust you and it's more than just a number. Now, moving into discovery. Basically, we're just getting the logistical questions here. So what's the make and model? which windows did you want done, is there any tint currently on the vehicle. Again, this exact framework applies to PPF, vinyl wrap, ceramic coating, all that good stuff. Only difference would be the actual material questions, but it's going to be set up the exact same way. Then, basically, we're just asking, is there any tint currently on the car? If you were doing PPFs, ceramic coating, is there any coating? Is there any PPF on the car? And then figure out, is it factory? Did another shop do it? How's the condition? Is there any damages, anything like that? And then if not, then we can just tint right over it. If so, we're going to need to do removal and replacement. And then once we've figured out the logistics, we're going to go into kind of more their goals. So what's the goal here? Are they looking to keep the heat out? Are they looking to get extra privacy? Is it a bit of both? And then based on what they answer, we're going to have a couple statements just to reconfirm what they're thinking. So if they're thinking, I really want both UV rejection and also privacy, we're going to want to say, perfect, our tint is going to block out heat, protect the interior from UV, give you extra privacy, and also make the car look better. Definitely one of the top investments you can make with this car. And then we're going to continue discovery. So another good question to ask is, are you looking for the most budget-friendly option, or are you going for the highest quality even if it costs a bit more? This is really going to tell you your chances of closing and also what packages the prospect's going to go with when you do get to that point. And then always ask for the time frame, in my opinion, before you drop the price, because you want to know, assuming the price is right, are they looking to get it done soon? That way they can't tell you, I'm not looking to get it done for a month, 2 months down when you get to the price. This way, if they say I'm a week out, you give them the price, they say I want to wait a month, you know that it's a price issue and you can work through that with them. Now, once you finish that, you're basically at the end of the discovery and you're going to go into labeling them. So again, this is wrapping everything that you've just learned up into a sentence so that the prospect feels like you completely understand their situation. So the way we like to do this is just to make sure I've got everything right here, you currently don't have any tint. You're looking to get the side and back windows done within the next week or so, and the main goal is just to keep the heat out. Does that all sound right? And then they're going to say yes, or maybe they'll add something onto it. And at that point, you can go into the pre-pitch, which is you've come to the right place. We've got the highest quality film anywhere in town for the pricing. And then you can add some of this in if you want. You don't need to go through the process. I would recommend brand and warranty, and then also kind of breaking down the two films, but you don't need to get too particular with it. So you could just give them, this is going to be the starting price, and then get them to come in. But basically you want them to know what's the brand, what's the warranty, and then if you're going to break down prices, difference, or if you're going to break down the different films, how are they different? And then essentially tell them, even if it's carbon versus ceramic, ceramic's obviously going to do better with UV. Carbon is still going to work, so especially if it's someone who said they want the budget-friendly option, but their goal was partially UV protection, tell them, both options are going to do a great job with your goal, so I can give you pricing for both. You don't want to frame up carbon as a bad film, or else they're going to be hesitant to go forward with it, even if that's what makes the most sense. And then you've got questions before we break down price. This is kind of the temp check. So you want to see, how are they feeling at this point? Do they have any specific questions? Are they confident that this is what they want? And you can even ask that after you go through questions. So do you feel like this is what you were looking for? Do you feel like we're a good fit? And then you can move into the price drop. So like I said, I like to do an A-B here. So price to get the side and back windows done in our great film, which would be the ceramic, is going to be this price. And to get it done in the good film, which could be a carbon or standard dyed, is going to be this price. Which of those options is going to be best for you? So I like to do a little pause and then go into, which option is best, if they don't say anything right after. Then, if they do have an objection, there is a framework and a couple overcomes preset right here. So if they want to shop around, if they want to think about it, and if they want to spend less or it's more than they wanted to spend, we've got that preset here as well. I'm not going to go through these right now just because they're super long and I don't want this video to be too long, but this exact document is going to be linked in the description so you can get access to that. All right, now once we have got confirmation, so this would be if they said one of these options would be best, as soon as you get that confirmation, as soon as they tell you that one of them is going to work, you want to move into scheduling. So I've got a spot on the schedule here for tomorrow and then the day after that. Which of those is going to be best for you? Next day, day after scheduling is always going to be the best thing possible. You need to get rid of your ego telling you that the customers want someone who's going to not be able to book them out for 2-3 weeks down the line. That is just not true. If you can book them in next day, do it, because your no-shows are going to be way lower. They're going to be higher intent. They're going to be happier. So always book as soon as possible. Now, if they do say that one of those days works, you're basically just going to go into scheduling. Are you going to be dropping off the vehicle or waiting with it? All right, the mornings or afternoons typically work best for you. If morning is best, give them your drop-off time. If afternoon is best, give them your drop-off time. Or if they're going to wait in, the time they can come in at. If no, basically just see what time were they thinking, check the schedule, and then swing back. And once you're booking them in, you should always be collecting a deposit. So while we buy time to pull up the deposit link or whatever we need, we like to say I'm booking this in now just to confirm this is the best phone number for you and this is the best email for you. We have the deposit link automatically send through text in our software. It's Go High Level. I'll leave a description of that as well. 14-day free trial, all that good stuff. And then once that link is sent through, I've just got you booked in. You should receive a text in a few seconds. That text is going to have the deposit link. The deposit goes towards the final price. Let me know once that is paid and I will finalize this appointment. Now, if they object to having to pay the deposit, you want to go through some objection handling and rebuttals. Otherwise, you're basically just going to say, I've got you booked in for this day. If there's any reason, just do me a personal favor to let me know if you can't make it. If they do not want to pay the deposit and after going through this, you still can't collect the deposit, you 100% want to go through a little more tie downs. So I've got you booked in here for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Just want to confirm 100%. Nothing is going to get in the way of you being able to make it, correct? Get that tie down, and then great if there is any reason at all that you're not going to be able to make it. Do me a personal favor and let me know ahead of time. It's my job to keep the schedule clean, so it's going to reflect poorly on me if you don't show up, okay? And then just tell them, respond to the follow-up text. That is going to help you out massively with your show-up rate. The only difference on this specific branch is going to be if they say that none of the 2 days work, so then you just have to find a proper day that does work for them. Other than that, it's going to be the exact same. So that is pretty much going to be the entire sales framework. Now that you know how to close your customers, you need to know how to get leads. So in the description below, there's going to be a free training on how to structure your Facebook ad campaigns. And as soon as you sign up for that, you're also going to get the link to this sales framework sent directly to your email. If you do want to book a one-on-one call with me and have my team come into your business and implement all of our systems done for you and call your leads for you, you can book a call with me below, and I will talk to you in the next one.